Hi, I'm Coach Erin. Today I'd like to give you my top 10 tips, tricks, and mindset shifts for public speaking. Tip number 1. There's a myth when it comes to public speaking and communications, and that is that you have to be perfect to get out there and give your message and to be a presenter, and that is the furthest thing from the truth. You do not have to be perfect. Yes, there are things you can work on, like your pitch, your pace, your volume, your emphasis, your gestures, your filler words. There's so many technical skills of public speaking that you can enhance, but you do not have to be perfect. In fact, being imperfect is what people want to see. They want to see your authentic self. They want to see your true self. And sometimes we make mistakes. And if you can just embrace that and roll with it and not let that hold you back, because being perfect is impossible. It is not realistic. And to think that you have to be a perfect communicator to get up there and give your message or be a good presenter is wrong. So I want to encourage you today that you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be brave. You just have to be bold. And you have to believe in yourself enough to put yourself out there and start communicating. Even if it creates a lot of anxiety for you, even if it creates a lot of fear, I want to encourage you to get out there and communicate, because that's what we're here to do. Now you're primed and ready. Let's hear tip number 2. The takeaway today to improve your public speaking is to stop thinking of it as public speaking. When you are public speaking, the spotlight's on you and the pressure's on you. If you start to reframe it and think of public speaking as communicating, you will immediately start to shift the spotlight onto your audience. How can you connect more deeply with them? Listening to them. These types of things are communication skills. I'm a communications and wellness coach because I believe that communication is first an inside job, and then we will become better external communicators. But it's also not about public speaking. It's not about you. It's actually about the audience and how can you better impact them. And you'll see that the pressure that you feel around public speaking, the fear will decrease because your why changes. Why you're there is now to connect with them and to bring more value and to encourage them. But it's changed and the spotlight's off of you. Now it's on them and you become a better communicator. Let's learn a little more about the framework. Tip number 3. I'm standing in front of a bookshelf today because I want to give you a tip. If you find yourself too busy, too rushed to plan and prepare for your next speaking opportunity, whether it's a meeting, a presentation, or a really important conversation, I want you to focus on the bookends. And what I mean by that is focusing on a really strong beginning and a really strong closing. If you only have a little bit of time, put all your effort right there, because that's going to make a huge difference in your beginning. When you start to speak or present or lead this meeting, start strong, appeal to your audience, make them care, and really hook them and engage them so they're going to listen to what you have to say. Then for your ending, you want to end strong. You want to end in a way that you can summarize and give a good conclusion of everything you said, but you also want to end in a way where you move them to the next thing you want them to do. You give them their marching orders. So start with a really strong beginning and a really strong ending, the bookends of your speech, and you're going to present better. You're going to sound more clear, more organized, and more motivating. You're doing great. Check out tip number 4 and let's get strategic. Turn your professional communication into more strategic communication with 4 steps. These 4 steps are going to help you communicate and get what you want out of that conversation, making it more strategic. The first step is to understand what your goal is. What do you want out of this conversation? The sales pitch? What is your end result for the meeting or for this specific conversation? Writing down a goal will help you get to that goal. It'll help you get to your destination. If you set a destination, you're more likely to take less wrong turns or get off track when speaking. You would not take a trip to an unknown place without setting in a destination, and I want you to do this for your communication as well. The second tip is to understand your audience. Really think about who's going to be in the room, what are they going through, what are their challenges, what might their goals be. Write this down. Take some time to connect with the audience before you start speaking. The third step is to make them care. This is about expressing the value to the other person. Make it mutually beneficial for them. You want to answer the question, what's in it for them? And be able to really demonstrate why this is going to be beneficial for them as well as you. The fourth step is about creating urgency. You want to be able to express the need and clearly give them steps on how to accomplish what you want them to do. This makes it more strategic and not just regular communication. We're looking for more strategic business communication, and these are the 4 steps that can get you there. Tip number 5, let's talk nonverbals. To be more engaging when you're speaking to a large group of people, maybe you're running a large meeting or you're on stage giving a big presentation or a motivational speech, however you're public speaking, and you want to draw your audience in more, I want to recommend to use a nonverbal communication tool of eye contact. So look into the eyes of your audience. I know a lot of people are uncomfortable with eye contact, and maybe it's something that you haven't practiced a lot before. So I would recommend practicing it in low stakes scenarios where you're with somebody you feel comfortable with, or when you go to order your coffee, look into the eyes of somebody when you're checking out at a store. I want you to finish what you're saying, look into the eyes of your audience, and then go on to the next thing. It's gonna draw them in, it's gonna make them feel connected to you, and you will feel more connected to them as well. This is such a simple and easy tool for you to engage your audience. Tip number 6, if you have nerves, this will help. Is it nerves? Is it anxiety? Or is it just excitement? Sometimes when you're nervous about presentation, a big speech, something you have that's going on, you are feeling that excitement in the body. It can feel a little bit like nervousness. And so if you automatically assume that you're just feeling nervousness, your hands are sweating, your heart is beating, you're feeling hot and warm, you can start to feel fear about that. You can start to feel anxious about feeling anxious. But if you can reframe that feeling of anxiety or nerves and think, hey, I'm kind of excited about this. This means a lot to me. I'm passionate. I put a lot of work into this, and I'm feeling excitement towards this opportunity. Reframe it in your mind. It can help decrease your fear just from that shift in your mental perspective. So next time you're feeling nervous, think I'm excited, not nervous. Tip number 7 is about the technical skills of public speaking. One of the quickest ways to undermine yourself when you're communicating is to use a lot of filler words. Filler words like and, so, as if, you know, with and being the most offensive for the listener. That's because it sounds like you don't know what you're talking about. It sounds like you're questioning what you're saying. When you use and all of the other filler words, it creates less clarity when you're communicating. It also makes you seem like you're not confident. So we know this is bad in our communication. We know it's distracting. What can you do? I want you to shut your mouth and breathe through your nose. When you do that, you take a pause. It sounds nice. The silence actually sounds nice to the listener because they can take time to process what you're saying. They can take a moment and they don't have to keep hearing words, which can be very overwhelming for the listener. So next time you're communicating, slow down, pause, take a breath through the nose. If you don't know what your filler words are, then I would recommend naming them and shaming them. That means recording yourself or having a friend write down what your go-to filler words are. Knowing what your filler words, as well as adding that pause and that breath, are going to help you sound more clear and confident when communicating. Tip number 8, get creative and use storytelling. Once upon a time, we all love a good story. I love a good story. I remember being young, little, listening to my oldest sister read me stories every night before I went to bed, and I just loved hearing a story. Whenever somebody tells a story, my focus lasers in on that story, and you start to release hormones like oxytocin that help you bind to that person. There's certain things that are happening in your physiology when somebody tells a story. We love stories. So in business, it is a good opportunity for you to use storytelling when you're making sales or when you're leading a meeting, when you're running a workshop or a training. Use stories throughout your communication, but you cannot develop these stories on the fly. It just doesn't work like this. I mean, maybe you can, but most of us can't. And we need to take time to develop these stories. What I do with my clients is I have them make buckets. In these buckets, these are going to be different scenarios that you can put all your different stories in life, whether it's a story directly that's happened to you or a story that you want to tell about 2 or 3 other people. You take these stories and we actually take time to sit down and develop them and put them in a bucket. So you know when you need a motivational story, you're just going to pull out of this bucket and you have one ready to go. This will make it so much easier for you to start using stories today. Tip number 9 reminds us that public speaking is taxing and we need to take care of our well-being first. If you speak a lot for your job, whether you're leading presentations, podcasts, you're in front of a camera a lot, you're leading meetings, you're an educator, if you're speaking a lot throughout the day, I want to help you manage your energy using the breath. So the breath is an inside-out tool to modulate the nervous system. And what I mean by that is when you're speaking, usually your mouth breathing, You're trying to speak really quickly, get your message across, not have people bored. But when you do that, it upregulates the nervous system. It's going to tax your nervous system. So in order to downregulate the nervous system, we need to work on recovery breathing techniques, that slow, low breathing, using good breathing mechanics. We need to do things like box breathing, alternate nostril breathing, which is going to tap into the parasympathetic nervous system state. This is going to help you recover, restore, and renew your energy for speaking again. Especially leaders that I work with, they just feel like they're on all the time and they can't really bring it down, can't bring that level of anxiety, that level of stimulation down. We use the breath as that quick tool, highly effective tool, 100% natural, to downregulate the nervous system. Tip number 10 shows a great way to downregulate the nervous system using the breath. If you experience a lot of nerves before speaking and you feel those jitteries all over the body, I want to give you a breathing technique that's going to help you downregulate the nervous system. Find a quiet place to practice this. Practice it for a few days leading up to the presentation or the stressful meeting. You want to put your hands on your ribs and you want to start to breathe through the nose. Instead of breathing like this, sucking in on the inhale, I want you to inhale and expand outward. So we're going to use the diaphragm. This will also help your voice when you speak, just like it helps singers and actors to develop that respiratory diaphragm. Inhale through the nose, and then exhale. It's like you're shushing the nervous system. You're shushing the nerves. You're decreasing that stress and anxiety. I recommend 3 rounds of 10 breaths, so 30 breaths total. Take breaks in between each round, each set of 10, and do this a few times throughout the day leading up to this stressful presentation. Remember, it's an inhale and exhale. Good job. Thank you for your time and your attention. I hope you found that helpful. If you want to learn more about the Speak Well private coaching, stay tuned. Welcome, I'm Erin Wilson. I'm a corporate coach and business owner. I'd like to talk to you today about the Speak Well coaching program. No matter where you're at in your career, I think we can all agree that having strong communication skills is powerful if we want to continue our success as a leader. If you're just starting out or if you're far along in your career, coaching is a really nice tool that you can utilize to level up in certain areas of your personal and professional development. The Speak Well method is a 6-week private coaching program developed from over 17 years of studying technical communications and teaching personal development. This program is tailored to fit your specific need and industry. This is what I do as a coach. I have over 17 years of working with professionals like you in enhancing their well-being as well as their communication. We work from an inside-out approach to improved communication. We offer private coaching one-on-one or as an employee group training and coaching experience. If the fear of public speaking or lack of focused practice is holding you back in your career, the only way out is through. And this private coaching experience will move you through your fears and communication roadblocks. So if you're ready to gain confidence, clarity, and connection as a communicator, book a 30-minute discovery call with me. Follow the link below, get on my schedule so we can have a one-on-one live conversation about if this is a good fit for you and your needs. Thank you for your time and your attention. I look forward to speaking with you.